We're backstage again, the Austin City Limits Music Festival, day 3 of 6, and playing each Sunday of the festival is this gentleman, Marcus Mumford. So you're here solo, a festival you've headlined before.
Yeah.
This is not something that even a year and a half ago you probably could have imagined.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm really nervous.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, we've headlined this festival. We did it twice within 3 years, not very long ago, and it's my favorite festival in America. I love it. I love this city. I've played here as much as anywhere else in the States, and yet I have no idea how this is going to go.
Right, because when you're in a band like yours, there's a certain amount of muscle memory,
Yep.
and there's a certain amount you can lean on guys you've known for a long time.
Yep, and songs
This
that people
has
have
none of
known
that.
for a long time, whereas this record's been out less than a month,
Right.
and we're playing a big slot. So your guess is as good as mine.
So one of my theories on the pandemic is that it just amplified who we already were.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were inherently a good person or a egomaniac, those things were going to get amplified by the pandemic. And if you were a guy dealing with anxiety and dealing with addiction, those were things that got amplified. You had a little bit of all that across your pandemic.
Yeah, definitely the egomaniac bit. I really relate to that.
That had to be a challenging couple of years, and it sounds like it was for you.
Oh, I think it was for lots of people, wasn't it? I think you're right. I think it revealed things that previously, for whatever reason, might not have been as easily accessible, and that was certainly the case for me. And the natural place to put it for me, honestly, as a songwriter, was in songs. And I surprised myself by putting them in songs and then being like, oh shit, well, I've written this song now. And the natural thing to do with a song is to put it out eventually. So it took me a while and a lot of support. A lot of people, even though it's a solo record, it's the most collaborative piece of music I've ever been involved in.
But it's also a record that is focused on a lot of trauma. And as an introduction to, hey, this is who I am apart from these guys, that's a lot to swallow for listeners, and it's a lot for you to lay bare on a stage.
Yep.
So those are complicated things too.
Sure.
Are those complicated things that add to that? Is that what's behind the Fright Factor?
No, it's more like these songs haven't been out for a month yet, and I'm playing them in front of tens of thousands of people tonight.
Right.
It's not, if I was anxious about putting the songs out, I wouldn't have done it. I don't need anything from them at this point.
Right.
You know, they've kind of done the work for me. And now it's kind of allowing it to be other people's now and, you know, cutting the umbilical cord. So
they also sound like the kind of songs, though, where people talk about the rock and roll saved my life cliche, but it sounds like these are the kind of songs you had to write, or you were headed further down a bad path.
Well, I think it was, like I said, it was like a natural thing for me to express them in songs. Weirdly, songs are just weird, right? You take the most private, personal thing basically that you can think of and you write about it in a private moment, and then you publicize it, you talk about it, you want people to listen to it, you play it to lots of people. It's just a weird thing to do, but
and your name is on both things.
Yeah,
meaning the solo thing, they know that that's the guy from that.
Yeah.
So you don't get to hide behind some kind of alter ego.
I mean, I'm not complaining about any of it, but it's just weird.
Right. What does it feel like, that energy exchange with a crowd? A, the way it used to be, and B, now, because it's a first impression again.
It's a first impression. It's like being a new artist. And I think it requires a bit of grace from me towards the audience because I'm ahead. Because I've done 2 years worth of this stuff pretty much now. And the audience hasn't had that chance. They've had a month.
Right.
So I think you're always ahead of your audience anyway. And particularly, I feel like I've had a head start on a lot of this stuff to the audience. So, and it's only been a couple weeks I've been on the road with it. So I'm still learning how to present it to people live. And I think it includes a bit of, this is okay, we're going to be okay, you know, and here's some songs you already know, and this doesn't have to be scary. This can be fun, actually, because a lot of the record is about freedom. So those songs
there
have
is
been...
a hopefulness
to
that trauma.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, recovery, you know.
Right.
and freedom that comes from looking at this tougher stuff. So, yeah, it's also been really fun. And the show's fun, I think. I hope.
Well,
You'll find out in a
you're
minute.
Find out if they think it's fun.
Yeah, I know how to do it indoors, because I wanted this to start. I wanted the tour to start in quite intimate places. So we've been playing theatres. Don't quite know how it's going to go down at a big old music festival. But
This town, though, you come with a little bit of an advantage in that this was a town you played South by early. You
Yeah.
played the two,
Yeah.
giant festival slots.
Yeah.
You've done all of the Austin City Limits associated things.
Yeah.
And this city, unless you can point to some others, I think this was one of the first cities
No, and
where
this
your
is-
band mattered.
Yeah, and I think we played this city more than we have pretty much any other city in the States, honestly. I think we played it more than we have LA and New York. So maybe Denver and Austin are the two we played the most. So I'm stoked. This is the first gig I had booked on my tour sheet. Booked it before any of the others. It was like the anchor for the whole thing. So we'll see.
Have you met people yet that are honest about not liking the thing over here, the band,
Yeah.
and are connecting with this?
Yeah, I have. And I'm sure there's a lot of the other way around too.
And that's not insulting, right?
No, I don't find that insulting. I think I believe in taste. I believe in liking some stuff and not liking other stuff. I don't think we all have to like the same stuff. So yeah, I've met actually quite a few people now who I've come across, particularly some of the more, I don't know how you say, highbrow media people who aren't such fans of the band, which is fine, but really like this record. But I reckon there's quite a lot of fans of the band that are a bit like, can you get back to the band now?
Right.
which I will. It's fine.
Right.
So I believe in duality.
But it's not some hobby either. I mean, this is something that your
No, and I
heart's
wanted
in,
to, and I wanted to put time into it because the way I know how to present a record is to play it live. I don't understand radio. I don't understand streaming,
right.
publishing, or all that stuff.
Well, and it's different than it was anyway.
Yeah, no one really understands.
Yeah,
that,
even
is
if
the
you
truth.
did have an understanding of it, you
So,
wouldn't now. So
I think I understand shows better. So the way I wanted to do it was just to tour it. It's just turning out well.
well,
Fun.
it's happening.
It's happening.
All right, here he is, Marcus Mumford.
Thanks,
Marcus
Andy.
Mumford playing both weekends of the Austin City Limits Music Festival, and the self-titled album is out now. Thank you for doing this, and we'll have more interviews and performances from backstage at the Austin City Limits Music Festival across all 6 days.